Hi there, this is Shifu Aaron at Dragon Phoenix Kung Fu in Asheville, North Carolina. Today's question I'm answering is, can I start martial arts after the age of 40? And the answer is yes. But it depends on what style you're doing, because different styles are made for different body types at different phases in life. One great example, Muay Thai. Excellent fighting style, very brutal, can absolutely devastate enemies. However, its retirement age is really close to 30, because while it's just such a devastating, powerful fighting style, it does a lot of damage to the body. It's really, really hard on the body. And I'm 45. Any of you guys know that have made it this far, the older you get, the easier it is to get hurt, the longer it takes to heal, and you just can't do the same stuff and train the same way as you could when you were young. So styles like that, excellent for the younger people. Leave it to the younger people. Even things like karate, taekwondo, those are the most well known here in the U.S. Those are great, really, until you hit your late 30s. That's roughly retirement age for that. Now, I will say, under the right teachers, and I've seen some of these teachers. I had a taekwondo teacher I studied under back in college from Korea, who was amazing. He was older guy, still had every bit of it, because he wasn't just going from force. He learned old way and learned how to put the internal within the external. So if you're studying those styles, that's the secret to, if you want to stay in those styles, to stay in there. But if you're jumping into martial arts, you're roughly 40, older, the internal styles are the way you're going to want to go, because those have a healing property to the body, opposed to a damaging property to the body where you're getting hurt. And so the simplest way to describe it is, most of these styles put a lot of torque on your joints, because joints are where a lot of the injuries are going to occur. Torque is twist with compression. Now there's also the force times lever arm, but it creates twist with compression. Imagine like tightening a bolt down really tight. You're torquing it down. The internal styles, instead of working through torque, they work through tautness. Tautness, we still have that twist, but we have twist and expansion. And what it does, instead of like creating that trauma on the joint, it stretches and expands and strengthens the joint. Okay, so when we're doing the internal styles, you use a tautness within the joints, because we're working through the core muscles, the internal muscles, the tendons, the ligaments. And so that's one of the reasons that you're going to save your body with that. Another one, we tend to start off really slow, because the internal styles, they're also considered the higher level Kung Fu styles, because they're so in-depth and technically accurate. Now, you're not going to be able to fight with them next week, next year, anything like that. If you want to like learn how to like win a fight next week, you're going to want to study something else. But a lot of people are studying the internal styles. By the time you got to 40, you don't really want to get in fights anymore. This is why you look at MMA, and you know, it's like maybe 35, 38 years old is about as old as they get, because it's just part of aging. You get injured easier, it's harder to heal up, and we've all got day jobs too. This is Kung Fu. This is my day job, which I'm super lucky to have. And so I can't go out like getting myself hurt, going out fighting every weekend, because like there's career enders, you know. Couldn't be here for all my students. And honestly, part of studying internal Kung Fu, there's a longevity aspect. So it's really nice, so that when I'm in my 80s, I'm still going to be able to move and do all the great things and enjoy my 80s, opposed to, you know, some other people who may be spending a lot of their time sitting on a couch watching TV behind a computer screen, letting their body kind of stagnate and atrophy, and not enjoy their later years so much. So there you go. I know I got on a little bit of a tangent. Can you start martial arts after the age of 40? Absolutely. But you're going to want to do internal styles of Kung Fu if you can. Tai Chi is the best place to start, because it's so well known. Xingyi is a little bit harder to find. Lue Bafa is pretty hard to find as well too. Yichuan is excellent if you can find it as well. And then there's also Baguizhang, my favorite. Again, more difficult to find, but Tai Chi, most of the times you're not going to go wrong with Tai Chi, especially if somebody knows what they're talking about, comes from a traditional lineage. They didn't just learn it like from a video or a book, and just I've seen people like do what they think is Tai Chi and end up hurting themselves. So when you're training with somebody, make sure they know what they're doing. You're not pushing yourself too hard or hurting yourself. And yes, you can study past your 40s and also become a great fighter with it if you need to defend yourself. Nobody really likes getting in fights. And even if you get in a fight, no matter how good you are, you're probably going to get hit still. So we got to think about that, because again, usually still got to go back to work on Monday. So there you go. That's my little quick talk on that. Got any questions, thoughts, comments? Feel free, put them below, drop a line. I look forward to reading what you got to say and getting back to you.